One of the biggest challenges facing the UK is economic inequality.
That's the gap between the richest and the poorest in a country, and it damages everyone.
Yes, it's not just those at the bottom, the gap damages those at the top as well. People living in countries which are less equal in economic terms do worse across a range of health and social issues than countries which are similar but more equal.
Now that includes rates of divorce, mental illness, alcohol and drug addiction, life expectancy and crime, which are all impacted. The poorest may suffer the most, but economic inequality also afflicts the well-off. Everybody is affected.
So what about the UK? In a world ranking of developed nations, where do we stand in terms of the gap between the richest and the poorest?
Uncomfortably for us, it turns out that the UK is among the most unequal developed countries. When the gap between the 20% poorest and the 20% most wealthy were compared in 2011, we were the third worst. Only Portugal and the USA ranked higher.
It might have narrowed a bit since then. But in the UK, we now have levels of wealth inequality not experienced for 100 years. And the gap has widened over the last 4 decades.
Now, there's no quick fix to address economic inequality and deal with its impact. Causes and solutions are complex and they are much debated. But that doesn't mean to say that there's nothing that we can do.
We are going to be looking at some of the issues over the next few months, and we'll give every follower of our Facebook page an opportunity to become more involved in being part of a change that most of us want to see.
This will start from having confidence as people who live in Swindon that we can bring about change. Not by complaining and blaming, but by recognising that everyone has a part to play.
Something you could do is read a book called The Spirit Level by Richard Wilkinson and Kate Pickett. And there are other things.
This winter there are people in Swindon who are choosing between eating a meal or having their central heating on. Literally, the choice between fuel or food. Now, perhaps if you bought something as a contribution, say, to Swindon's food bank, then that might be one thing that could really help people in such a difficult situation.